Hey everyone, welcome back. Thanks for joining me once again. This is Upon Further Review with Sean Tomlin, and we got another awesome show for you tonight. Well, why wait? Let's get into the action. Let's look back at what happened last week in week 6. Started off on Thursday night with the Giants beating the Eagles 34-17. Who would have seen that one coming? I know I didn't, because the Jets have been terrible this year. But Jackson Dart doesn't look too bad. So take that with a grain of salt. Maybe this is something new for them. Maybe they're going to start something going. In our Sunday slate of action, we had in jolly old London or England. I think it was England. I don't think it was London specifically. It was the Broncos versus the Jets, and it was a dumpster fire. The Broncos ended up beating the Jets 13-11, and Justin Fields had minus 10 yards for the game. The whole game. It was just like, whew, man, those Jets are horrible. Then we had the Cardinals going against the Colts, and the Colts were able to pull that one out 31-27. Awesome game if you got a chance to watch it. Then we had the Seahawks going up against the Jaguars. Seahawks ended up taking that one 20-12. Kind of saw that one coming. It was a fluke, honestly, for the Jags to beat the Chiefs last week, so take that one with a grain of salt as well. I wasn't around last week. We had some technical difficulties trying to film, so that's why I don't have any picks for last week or anything like that. So nothing on that end to look back at. Just thought I'd let you know. Let's go to our next game. We had the Chargers going against the Dolphins. Chargers took that one 29-27. Didn't think it was going to be that close, but the Dolphins put up a pretty good game for the season. Actually, I was actually quite surprised. Then we had the Cowboys going up against the Panthers. I thought the Cowboys were going to take this one, but the Panthers were able to edge that one out 30-27. Dowdle looked amazing in that game and his revenge game against the Cowboys. Then we had the Ravens going up against the Rams, and the Rams took that one 17-3. Rams just crushed them, but Ravens haven't been looking that great this year, and they don't have Lamar Jackson right now. Then we had the Patriots and the Saints, and usually I don't say the Patriots are going to take this one, but they were going to take this one because it was against the Saints, and fake Mahomes just couldn't get it done. Then next we had the Steelers and the Browns. Well, the Steelers ended up taking that one 23-9. Saw that one coming because the Browns are just in quite a big mess right now. Then we had the Raiders going against the Titans, and the Titans are actually looking like probably the worst team in the league, and they lost to the Raiders, right? So who would have guessed that? But Raiders were by far the better team in this matchup. They took it 20-10. Then we had the Buccaneers going against the 49ers. If you had a chance to watch this game was also just a barn burner. It was awesome to watch. Well, not a barn burner. It wasn't like a shootout or anything like that, but it was a great game to watch. Buccaneers took that one 30-19. Then in our next matchup, we had the Bengals taking on the Packers. And Josh Jacobs had one hell of a game. Just lit it up. Bengals got beaten 27-18 in that matchup. Then for our Sunday night matchup, we had the Lions and the Chiefs. And the Chiefs were actually able to pull that one off against the Lions. I didn't think so. I thought the Lions were the better team, but they faltered, and the Chiefs were able to get a victory. They're not a bad team, the Chiefs. You got to remember, they've been to the Super Bowl quite a few times. They won the Super Bowl last year, so second year in a row that they won the Super Bowl. So, yeah, second year in a row that they... Actually, no, they lost last year. What am I thinking? Eagles won last year. Second time they'd been. They were going for their third time that they've been going for their three-peat. Anywho, Chiefs are a good team, and they exposed the Lions on that day. Then, on our Monday night, we had two games. We had the Bills going up against the Falcons. Falcons took that one 24-14. Didn't see that one happening. Bills are kind of on a downward spiral right now, looking not as strong as they once were. And then we had the Commanders and the Bears were able to take that one out by another great game. Well, not another great game, but by a great game by their running back, DeAndre Swift. And that's all the games for this past week. So we're going to look ahead to the matchups that are going to be happening. We're going to be having on Thursday night the Steelers and the Bengals. I'm going to be taking the Steelers on that one. The Bengals have been looking a little bit like in shambles. Then in our Sunday slate, we got the Rams going up against the Jaguars. And that one, I believe, is overseas. I can't remember where. But I see the Rams taking that one. Then we got the Patriots versus the Titans. I want to pick the Patriots because the Titans are so bad, but everybody's got to get one. So, actually, I think they already have one. Everyone gets two. Titans are going to take that one because I don't pick the Patriots. Then we got the Saints and the Bears. Bears are easily going to take that one over the Saints. Panthers and Jets. This one's a toss-up, but I think with Dowdle, it's going to be a Panthers victory because the Jets, well, they're the Jets, and they've been looking pretty damn horrible. Then we got the Raiders and the Chiefs. Chiefs are going to take that one over the Raiders. Dolphins, Browns. I'm going to give that one to the Dolphins. Eagles and Vikings. I'm leaning towards the Eagles on this one, but probably going to take the Vikings. I think the Vikings are going to take that one. Broncos and Giants starts up our afternoon slate on Sunday, and I believe the Broncos are going to take that one. I don't think the Giants are going to get two in a row. Then we got the Colts and the Chargers. Taking the Colts. Also, they've been looking really good. They've been looking awesome this year. So it's not a bad thing to say, or it's not a bad bet to say that the Colts are going to win. But it's going to be a tight game. But I think the Colts are going to take that one. Commanders, Cowboys. I'm going to say the Cowboys are going to win this one. Their defense has looked quite porous all year long. Not too sure what they're doing out there. But I think the Cowboys are going to take this victory. Then we got the Cardinals and the Packers. And I think the Packers are just going to annihilate the Cardinals. And then we got the Falcons and the 49ers, and I believe George Kittle is going to be back this weekend, so I'm taking the 49ers on that one. Then on Monday night, the Falcons and the 49ers is our Sunday night football matchup. Then on Monday night, we've got another doubleheader. You know how much I love doubleheader Mondays. We got the Buccaneers and the Lions. That one's going to be a really close matchup, and I'm going to take the Buccaneers on that one. And the Seahawks and the Texans. I'm leaning towards the Seahawks on that one because their defense has been looking really good. So that wraps up all the action that happened last week. Looking ahead to some action. So we're going to get into my top threes at all fantasy positions. For QBs, we had Patrick Mahomes leading the way with Drake May and Dak Prescott following in suit. At running backs, we had Bijan Robinson having an amazing game. Same with Mr. Dowdle. And then Avon Chan finishing that one out. Wide receivers, we had Drake London looking great, George Pickens looking great, and Smith-Njigba looking great. For our tight ends, we had Goddard, McBride, and Warren doing their thing. And defenses, Broncos, Bucks, and Raiders. So now we're going to go into my top lineup for next week. I think you're going to want to start Drake May at quarterback. Don't like the Patriots, but I think he's going to have an awesome game. For your running backs, Christian McCaffrey and Josh Jacobs, I think they're going to have awesome games as well. Wide receivers, I'm going to go Diggs and Adams. I think Adams is kind of due to have a really big game. And Diggs with May there, I think he's going to, they're starting to find something. I think so. Then for tight end, Jonnu Smith, he's looking really good with the Pittsburgh Steelers right now. For flex, I'm going to go with Jonathan Taylor with the Colts. I would have put him in my running back, but they are going up against the Chargers, so I think it's going to be a little bit of a tougher matchup, although he has not looked like he has been the best running back in the league. Defense, I'm going to go Broncos because they are just a stout-looking defense, and I think they're going to have a great game. So now let's look ahead. Or look back. Let's just look at it. To my favorite fantasy league, Clusterfuck 2. Last week, we had a really tight, a lot of good matchups. Started off with Caden's team. Riley Read Me a Book. Getting a victory when they needed it at 129.8 to 123.65. In our next matchup, Oh, Protect Your Holes was the other opponent in that one. Ty's team. In our next matchup, we had Dan's team, Pass the Dutch, going up against Don't Be a Kyra, Nathan's team. And Dan destroyed Nathan 205.50 to 58.65. 58 points, Nathan. We'll get into that later. But then we had Simon's team, the Mark Davis Bullcut, going up against Tyreek Bumney, Lawson's team. Lawson needed a victory to bump up to 2-4. Unfortunately, he lost 130.75 to 109.95, so that drops him to 1-5. So we'll get to the standings just after all of this. Then we've got Graham's team, the Bench Whisperers, going against my team, Hot Chub Time Machine, MLC. And I was able to overcome a 100-point deficit to come back to win 190.10, 182.35. So that was a very exciting match. Almost scored the most points in the league. Dan got that one this week. And I think we all know who got the least amount of points, and that was you, Nathan. 58's hard to beat. Then in our next matchup, our final matchup of last week was Shane's team, the GB Packers, going up against Les's team, Chase Ventura. And Chase Ventura, Les's team, was able to pull out the victory, 150.05 to 136.65. So that wraps up all the matchups that happened in Clusterfuck 2 last weekend. We got some good matchups coming up next weekend. We'll get into those in a second. We'll look at the standings right now. So in the first division, in the Happy Gilmore division, it's led by Dan's team, Pass the Dutch, at 4-1-1. Followed by Shane, the GB Packers, at 4-2-0. Simon's team, the Mark Davis Bullcut, at 4-2-0. Caden's team, Riley Read Me a Book, at 2-4. And then Graham's team, the Bench Whisperers, at 1-4-1. In our next division, the Shooter McGavin division, my division, we had Ty's team leading it 4-2. Protect Your Holes. Followed by Les's team, Chase Ventura, at 4-2. My team, the Hot Chub Time Machine MLC, at 3-3. And then, although you scored the least points in the league last week, you're still in 4th place in our division. Don't Be a Kyron, Nathan. Your team, you're 2-4. Lawson, you're sitting at the very bottom of the league, with Tyreek Bumney being at 1-5. So that wraps up the standings. So looking ahead, in week 7, we've got Protect Your Holes going up against Ty's team, going up against Dan's team, Pass the Dutch. Then we've got Nathan's team, Don't Be a Kyron, going up against Simon's team, the Mark Davis Bullcut. Then we got Lawson's team, the Tyreek Bumney, going up against Graham's team, the Bench Whisperer. Then we've got my team, Hot Chub Time Machine, MLC, going up against Shane's team, GB Packers. And then we got Les's team, Chase Ventura, going up against Riley Read Me a Book. So lots of good matchups going up next week. Be fun to see what happens. Rooting for everybody, but rooting against everyone. Well, we're getting to the end of the show here. I know it was kind of a quick one. I didn't have any comments this week, so it's probably because the episode didn't air last week because of shittiness. So we'll just get right into the goal to go, our final thoughts segment. Well, Nate, I cannot have this as the top thing I said. Nate, you set the record for the least amount of points ever scored in the league at 58. Congratulations, man. You earned it. Proud of you. It's not a record you want to have, but it's a record you do have. Graham keeps his bench warm, nice and toasty again for another week, leaving a lot of points on the bench. Could have it helped him? Could have not. Only time will tell. Will this whole bench whispering thing flood you for the year? Will you be able to come back and overcome it? We also had 2 players in the league start inactive players. Caden, Lawson, I'm talking about you. Come on, man. Come on, men. You can do better than that. Don't start inactive players. Fill up that bench too, Lawson. Come on. There's lots of guys out there. Stash some people. Figure some shit out. You got this. I believe in you. Both of you. You can make it happen. To NFL news. George Kittle returned to practice today. Not looking too bad. I believe they opened up his 21-day window, so he should be coming off of IR at any point now. Lions cornerback Branch. You punched a Chiefs player? Come on, man. You deserve that 1 game suspension. Like, what are you doing? Why are you punching people? Like, fucking get a clue, man. That was just a bonehead play right there. That's almost as bad as Jalen Carter spitting on Dak Prescott to begin the season. Like, come on, man. You can do better. Dowdle torched his old team for 239 all-purpose scrimmage yards. Had a great game in his revenge game against the Cowboys. So, if you got him on your fantasy team, you're going to be pretty happy about it. And Joe Flacco went to the Bengals. He actually had a pretty good game. They were actually looking a lot more productive on offense than having Jake Browning in there. So, good on that. But it is Joe Flacco. He's an old man. Does he have the full season in him? Time will tell. Baker Mayfield had an amazing run in their matchup over the weekend. It was 3rd and long, and I don't know how he did it, but he was able to get a first down out of it. Like, it was nuts. It was absolutely crazy. If you saw the play, you are welcome. You got to see a once-in-a-lifetime play. And kicking the camera there. Baker Mayfield is actually looking like the cream of the crop right now, so might just be the best quarterback in the league right now. It's tough to say, but I would say he's looking like the best quarterback in the league right now. There's not much else he can say about that besides the fact that he's looking just fucking damn awesome. Well, thanks everyone for joining me once again. If you liked the video, hit the like button. Send me a comment. Maybe I'll read it out next week on next week's episode. And share it to get this video out to more people. Also, if you love Upon Further Review, you're going to love UFR reports. Go on to Instagram at upon.furtherreview and check out that page. Leave me a comment or a message there, which I'll try and get to you if you send a message for the next episode. We'll talk about it on air. Same if you leave a comment on the video. So, thank you everyone for joining me once again. Where next week, I'll be right back here breaking down everything you need to know.